Yes.
King shit.
Let's go, let's go. Felt like bringing it back this morning. Yes.
Man, it's only right I rise. I was born in the fall.
Born in it.
My mama and my daddy rode in separate cars. Next time me and him spoke, I was 24.
Come on in, family. Put your nines up. Let me know where you from.
Crack era, the proof in his eyes. In this world can't survive.
Institutionalized.
The streets will swallow you up
like a wolf in disguise.
Nowadays, hard to separate.
This where it all started. Let's go.
Now I'm on a mission for the people. May your well wishes be equal and your enemies beneath you. The Hennessy is lethal.
Smash that like button. Smash that heart button.
Your heart is real like a Hebrew. We need you. I'm cooking up that work in the lab to supplement it. You know me from that work in the past. It's been a minute.
I drop a couple verses. Pastors and the bishops be nervous. Let's go. Knowledge destroys all barriers. Let's go. Smash that like button, smash that heart button right now.
This that work for the serving out the kitchen.
You lurking, just know I'm alert and in position. Send to like 10 groups right now. Let's go. Let's see those heart emojis. Let's like emojis. Let's get it going on the algorithm. We're going in this morning. Getting everybody time to get in the room. Let's go.
We gotta bridge the gap, deliver the facts. As simple as that. They into that. It's bigger than rap.
Bigger than rap. They don't get it. It's bigger than rap. You heard? What they thought? We out here rapping and tapping, spitting and skitting. It's bigger than rap. Yes, sir. We told y'all that. We told you it's bigger than rap. Let's go. When all these days are gone. That's for sure. We all gonna walk up to the sun. The name of this track is called Walk Up.
When all these days are gone, we'll walk up to the sun.
The name of this track is called Walk Up. It's available on all streaming platforms. It's off the album 9, one of my first albums. The one that started it all. That started the energy, started the con. They said, oh man, he's turning into a rapper. They had no idea. They had no idea. That's what started it all. You heard? Yes, sir. So what we gonna do before we go in, got a couple things we gotta take care of, right? We gotta shout out the first 9 first and foremost. First one on, we had Sonia Sunshine. Shout out to Sonia Sunshine. You get to pick the song of the day today after the show if you stay on. Tia Hamilton, number 2. Burn the B, you came in at number 3 today, Long Island. Tia Hamilton is from Detroit. So we got Michigan in here too. We got Philly in the building. The Earthen Vessel. Welcome to the first 9. Robin Hoyle in the building. Grand rising to you. Let me know where you're from, Robin. Taekwon Cobbin in the building. Make sure y'all smash that like button, that heart button right now. We got Wit Fitness in the building. And last but not least, we got Krishawn Rogers in the building. Michigan is heavy out here. Shout out to everybody in Michigan. Shout out to everybody in Detroit, everybody in Flint, all my peoples out there. We got to get back out there, man. I know that they still ain't getting that situation right with the water, so we got to get back out there and help you guys. That's definitely something we got to do. Maybe we'll do another fundraiser. Hit that up. Shout out to Ramin, everybody out there. Yeah, man. So before we get started, let's get the energy right. Grab your Tibet singing bowls. Let's get the energy work going. Get our hearts right and our minds open. Tibet singing bowl is one of the tools that we use to vibrate our water in the morning before we ingest anything else. We take a nice, good sip of some 432 hertz water. We adjust the frequency ourselves. You'll find that as you start to utilize your Tibet singing bowl on a daily basis, it's almost like if anybody had developed a habit of smoking or drinking or anything habitually, right? Ritually, it's almost like that first pull. That's what it feels like when you charge your water. That's what it feels like. You know what I'm saying? So I highly advise, if you don't have a Tibet singing bowl, you can invest in one. We do have them in the Lighthouse store. I'll put the link up in the feed if you want to get that. We got those for order. Everybody should be receiving theirs this week. Let's get into the lesson for today. Today, we're going to be talking about identifying a spiritual alignment. Right? And we're really going to, before I get on these lessons, right, I always have the lesson before leading into where we're going, and you'll realize why we had to learn certain things before we get to the next level, right? I gave it to you in stages. It's levels to this. So when we're talking about spiritual alignment, right, when we're talking about spirit, you hear a lot of people talk about spirit, right? Spirit. Spirit said this. Spirit said that, right? There's a little bit of spookism mixed in there. Okay, I'm just gonna be honest with you. Gotta be totally honest with you guys. That's what we're here to do. Right? A little bit of spookism in today's time that we do have to break from the religious residue of people coming out of religion when they say that spirit revealed to them. A lot of us rendered that and interpret it as almost like it's a being that came down, and we kind of like see spirit like it's a person that cares about us, right? like spirit is an angel looking over us or something, right? And we have to dispel some of these things so that we can realize what our place is in our relationship with spirit really is, right? So in English, the word spirit means breath, air, wind. Pneuma, Pneuma, I believe is how they spell it, or even with an N somewhere. Pneuma. Okay. But in any case, spirit in the English language, because of spelling, the transliteration, we look at spirit almost as if it's a ghostly being that flies around, right? But in the English language, it's transliterated as breath, air, wind. So now understanding that for today's time is okay, but we have to understand how the ancients looked at spirit, or what spirit actually represented back then. The word for spirit back then would have been ka, right? It would have been ka. What is it? What is a ka, right? Ka is the ancient Kemetic word, right, for spirit. And it looks something like that. Ka. Okay. Your ba is your individual spirit. Now ka is the spirit, the energy that we all share. Okay. We look at our information and things that we know as exclusively, right? That's the ba. That's your individual soul, right? The ba is your individual being, that character, that soul. The ka is the information that actually makes up the ba. Without the ka, you can't have the ba, right? So the ba is like the information highway that we get all of our consciousness from. Understand that, okay? That is the ka. You'll see many times, in church functions, worship services, people places where spiritual connections are having, you'll see them put their hands up like this. Like when they tell you to praise God, or when they lay hands over your third eye to cover your vision, they tell you to put your hands up like this, right? Right? Your hands, people don't know, your hands are receptors, right? They're receptors for information as well. They're receptors from the ka. And we could all pull from the Ka. There's nobody that doesn't have a direct connection with the Ka. Understand that. You don't need a middleman to tap into the Ka. That's the good news. That's the good news. The good news is we're all attached to it, right? The bad news is we're all attached to it. That's the bad news, right? So because we're all attached to it, that means the information that you're receiving, right? It doesn't come. It's not a direct connection. It's bouncing off. It's a network. Understand that. It's like ricocheting. Anybody can tap into it. It's like having a plate of a bowl of gumbo, right? And anybody can dip their spoon in it, eat off of it, dip their spoon in it, right? So some of the information is contaminated, right? Some of the information has to be rendered through and sifted through. This is why they say chew the meat and spit out the bones, because all the information that you're receiving, right, is not necessarily from an ancient ancestor or spirit or all the different things, these angels that people talk about. It's not coming from those things necessarily. It's coming from the Ka, and how you pull out from the Ka and how you render it is ultimately going to dictate how you actually will receive it. That's the good news. That's the good news. The bad news is how you pulling it and how you render it is how you're going to receive it. That's also the bad news. Walk with your boy. You see, we always like to take the good out of it and act like the bad ain't there. We always try to act like there is like good and bad actually exists, when actually it's just a bowl of information, and you're going to do with it as you will, right? So the problem with that is that some people render it well, some people don't render it well. So as it bounces around, you never know what you're going to get. It all depends upon how much prior information you may have, so you can actually identify the spiritual connection or the spiritual alignment. You understand? Does it actually serve you? It's going to be based on knowledge you actually have of self. So let's delve into Ka really quick. Spirit, right? Ka, Kau, bull / cow. Did you know that? Did you know that the word cow, right, actually comes from the word Ka? Did you know that? Did you know when you say the word cow, you're actually saying the word spirit? In an ancient language, you're saying spirit. This is the reason why the ancient Kemites, if you notice, the ancient Kemites had cows everywhere, right? Had Haru, right? They associated that with a sense of energy. A sense of strength, right? Power, nurturing, right? Remember we were talking about Het Haru, we were talking about Osset and how she would wear the horns of the bull or the cow on her head, right? She's showing a spirit, right? Representing a certain type of spirit. When you look at Het Haru on the right-hand side, right? Cow, we say cow, right? So these are words that literally transliterated and passed down from generation to generation. You're hearing echoes of your ancestors' words when you say the word cow, right? Cow is the plural word of ka, cow. In ancient Kemet, if you wanted to make a word plural, right? When we say neter, sometimes you hear us say neteru, right? That's pluralizing the word netter. So anytime you hear u on the end, 9 times out of 10, it's plural, right? So kau is spirits, bull, kau, cow. It's a plural word of ka. So you have power, strength, fertility, right? That's what all this means. Power of action in the world to create from consciousness, self, soul, spirit, essence, etc., of who we are, aspiring and rising up to higher consciousness. That's the good news. Real spirituality is morality. Your spirit, soul, self, and character is defined by what you do with what you know about reality and self. Consciousness, your behavior, reflecting who you are, right? Upright arms, right angle, right? That's important, right angle, right? The angle of which that it is held, right, is important because it's actually trying to show you something here. It's giving you an imagery of something here, right? It's almost like a cup, right? You know, in church they say, fill my cup, right? look at the information as water, and look at your hands, your body, right? As you're forming your vessel as being a cup, and you're filling yourself up with information. You're filling yourself up with levels of consciousness. You understand? So it's important that you understand that this word is in many different words that we use. As you can see down at the bottom, you'll see a character, character, right? Charisma, right? So all these different words have the root word of ka in it, right? There are other words that we can talk about when we deal with the word ka, right? And we're going to delve into some of those, but understand that the information that you're downloading is coming from the ka, and it's all different versions of it, right? All different types of ways to understand it, coming from a lot of different places. You may have also heard the word Merkaba, right? Merkaba. Have you heard that? To connect the spirit and the soul, right? When you put mer in front of it, right? Merkaba, you're taking your ka, you're taking the ka, which is the overall information, right? And then you're mixing it with your soul, your individual character, right? That process, right, of that movement is called mer, right? Mer. The same way we look at love, right, as mer, right? These are actions, right? Major key. These are actions. Understand that. When you say that you mer someone, it's an action. It's not something that you just say. It's something that you do. Mer. I mer you, right? It's an action. So the action of taking the spirit and the soul and connecting them, right? That's how you get Merkaba, the spirit body, right? Or Kabbalah, the spirit body, right? Ka, meaning spirit, right? Kabbalah, right? When we say Allah, we're talking about body. We're talking about the actual body. A lot of people get that confused. I know we like to get into spookism, but Allah represents body. Body. Kabbalah. Okay? So now, this is why etymology, this is why I was giving y'all the lessons on etymology first, because if you don't understand etymology, this could be over your head, right? This will be way over your head. Merkaba combines opposing energies in perfect balance, right? So Merkaba is taking those energies that we now know, the spirit and the body, and making sure that they're in Mayat. Major key. They have to be in Mayat in order for you to properly utilize or properly identify what we call a Merkaba, masculine and feminine energies, earth and cosmos, as above, so below. Walk with your boy. As above, so below. That action of doing that, right? It's that union. This union results in an activation of light and protection around your body that can transport your consciousness to higher dimensions. So now, the act of you getting that knowledge, right? When you get the knowledge from somebody, or it bounces off, or you get it from out of the ka, right? Remember, it's moved around. So it's taking you to a higher level of consciousness. That action is Merkaba. Do you understand? That is Merkaba. You may have also seen the word utilized, like we say, ak or aki, right? Ak. It's another word that you may want to get familiar with. You ever hear somebody reference a person and say, yeah, peace, Aki? You know what I'm saying? Thanks, Ak. Right? That Ak, these are all ancient words, right? Ak is literally Tahuti. It's the actual knowledge, right? When you are an Aki, that means you are applying the knowledge, right? This is the glyph for an Ak, right? Ak. It's taking the information from the ka and utilizing it, right? So when a person becomes a Merkaba, right, utilizes the task of Merkaba, and they actually start applying that. They take the information from what they may read out of a book or get out of the ether. When they're taking that information and then the actual act of utilizing that information, they become an Aki, right? Like Anu, Naki, Aki, right? That means that there are some actions being taken place. You see, they can't even form their words in these other civilizations without dealing with what ancient Kemites left for them. You can't run from this. The root words of the words that they create come from this. Okay? The Ak was depicted as a crested ibis, right? However, there is probably only a phonetic relationship between the bird and the concept. In the world of the living, the Ak most commonly referred to the effectiveness of kings or officials who operated on behalf of their gods or kings, respectively.
But chill.
That's major important right there. So when you're dealing with the word Ak, you're dealing with royalty. That's where it comes down from. It comes down from royalty. You see what I'm saying? That's where it started at, right? Anyone, though, could be an Ak, effective or do Aku, effective deeds, right? These deeds did not need to be glorious or useful, but simply concrete acts that affected eternity and helped maintain Ma'at. For example, when Pharaoh Senwar the first, in his role as Horus or Heru, the son of Osiris or Asar, he built monuments to his divine father and made offerings. He wrote that he was doing that which is Ak effective, right? Uja Haresne performed Aku acts for his townspeople by defending the weak, saying the troubled and protecting them as he would protect his children. In the realm of the afterworld, Ak was the deceased who became an effective being by being supplied with all of the necessary offerings and who knew the necessary spells. One became an Ak through a ritual appropriately titled Cause One to Become an Ak. This ritual was performed by a priest called the Ak Seeker, right? Scan Ak. Let me get rid of this banner for a second. Those deceased who have become Aku can still act for or against the living and exist with them in reciprocal relationship if the living care and maintain the deceased. The deceased can care and protect the living. Major key right there. So the only way the deceased can help you is if you care, right? Right? You got to actually invoke them and seek them, right? The only way someone who is deceased can become an Aku or somebody that actually assists you in the afterlife is you have to want them to. You have to want them to. You have to will them into existence. You understand? Now, understand this is ancient esoteric knowledge, meaning you were this before you became a body. This is how you was moving around. The body is just a prison system. The body is just a vessel. The body takes the ka, right? And it stores it. It holds it, right? And then that's when it becomes the ba. How do you utilize it? Your makaba, your actions, right? How you balance these things out ultimately is what dictates your character, right? Who you are. See? Walking with me? All right. Let's move on. All this information that we receive, that's in the ether, right? The collective, the new stuff that we get, the new stuff that we create and that we put back. When we delve into it, we call that the Akashic record, right? Take Ak and Ka and put them together. You get Aka, right? So everything that you're delving into, the information that you receive when you wake up in the morning, you're like, oh, I got a message. Where did that come from? Oh, I got a word. I heard a word. Where did that come from? Right? What we associate with spirit or spiritual alignment is really us tapping into the Akashic record. It's the library. You understand? There's literally a library of information that us as human beings have the ability to tap into. We're magnets for this stuff. Right? So whatever you're looking for, remember it was telling you, like, if you're looking for, like, whatever you seek, right? It's basically telling you if you want to tap into this energy or these messages that some of the ancestors hold, you have to want it. You have to want it. If you're learning something new today, like, share, subscribe. If you're learning something new about how you receive information, like, share, subscribe, share to your friends. Because people think that, that these are beings that are coming down to talk to them. And they don't realize, like, no, you're always connected to this at all times. So when you start hearing people start talking about prophets and how they have this special relationship with God, that's how they got this information. It's all BS. It's all BS. You have the same ability. There is no being that is greater than another here on the planet Earth. We all need each other in this network. You understand? It's a network. So when you have a network, if one pillar goes down, they all go out. Do you understand how that works?
To this day.
It's like an electrical circuit. It's identical to an electrical circuit. If you take out one piece, nothing works. You understand? Everything has to be in alignment. So when you're dealing with a spiritual alignment, you got to realize that you're connected to this at all times. And alignment is basically a favorable action, thought, or deed that happens to you that you look at as an alignment. Do you understand? Right? But guess what? It might not always be favorable. Sometimes you get information that's really not that good for you. You understand? And you got to understand that all information ain't great information, because how you render it is ultimately what's going to dictate the next action that takes place. Are you walking with me? Do you understand now? That's why you can't watch everything. That's why you can't listen to everybody. That's why you can't associate with any and every little thing that's not in alignment with what you deem to be beneficial to your life and where you're about to go. Do you understand? You must put yourself in a space where you have an opportunity to tap into things that will align you with the things that are going to help you, right? You let go of the things that no longer serve you. So all information ain't good information, right? It all depends on your level of expertise. It all depends upon where you're being met at, right? What houses have you walked through? Can you render this information? There are some people that get the information that we've learned, right, about life, and they kill themselves. Real talk. Real talk. There are some people that can't handle what it is that we're talking about. It's just way too heavy. It's too heavy. You ever see how people get all out of sorts and all you did was drop a factual piece of information? You ever see how they get angry at you? Because you're literally reshaping their world. It's shell shock, right? So this is why I tell you got to go easy on people who don't know what it is that you know. You can't always just, you want to attack them, right? And debate. I know everybody love debating, but that ain't it. That ain't it. Some people ain't ready for that. They're not regularly ready for the argumentative conversation. For some people, you might have to help them to reveal it in their life and show them what's going on. Hey, listen, this is what you probably need to do. I'm just going to give you some advice and take this all in love. You know what I'm saying? Take them to the side. Everything ain't always about a debate. Sometimes you got to take them to the side and discuss it with them. You know what I'm saying? Build behind the scenes, because they might not be ready for the combativeness, right, of a full-fledged debate. They might not be ready to go there with you, right? You might need to have to serve it in a different way. Put a little bit of sugar in the medicine. Meet people where they're at. And don't worry, they're going to reveal themselves to you. They'll let you know which level that you on, right? So if I do something for the masses, you know what I'm saying, and I might, show people, hey, listen, this God concept, this whole thing is fake. It was you the whole time, right? Right? Now, some people will get that. Right? They'll be like, oh yeah, well, guess what? Well, you just use the word God. All right, cool. You're in the next level. Let me take you over to the next class, to the higher levels of ascension. So now we don't have to use that word in conversation when I talk to you. We can level up. We can talk about netters, right? We can talk about orishas, right? We can talk about all the deities that come with all the other things that are going on in this world, right? We can level up, right? We can talk about principles of nature. See? It'll be revealed to you where you should be. But it's levels. It's levels. And you can't get offended by the levels. Some of us get offended by the levels. So that another person will come in and they'll say, well, I don't understand what you're talking about. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, you're not on this level. Don't get offended by that person saying that, right? Just try to meet them on the level where they're at. And if they just don't want to learn, then you can identify that as well. Everybody's not here to learn too as well. Understand that. Don't cast your pearls to swine. Find the spiritual alignment. Don't cast your pearls to swine. Find your spiritual alignment, right? And the spiritual alignment is basically they've walked through the same houses as you, right? Right? Or not. Right? What does that mean? Right? That means you can learn from people who you can relate with and people that you don't relate with. You can still learn something. Right? A lot of times we only want to take information from people that we agree with, right? Or we feel we've formed a connection with. Where sometimes the information is the information that's opposite of what you're saying, right? But it ultimately can help you grow. It can help you stretch. It can help you expand, right? And it don't have to be something that you're in agreement with. Remember I was telling you there's good news and there's bad news, right? The bad news is you're going to have to humble yourself and accept some things, right, that you might not understand, or things that actually don't even connect with you in that way at this moment, but you might need to just store it, right? The seed was planted. You might need to tuck that in the back and hold it for another time. Chew the meat, spit out the bones, right? Oh, we leveling up today. We teaching how to learn today, right? How to tap into the Akashic record, how to understand spiritual alignments. Let's deal with alignment real quick, right? Here's some affirmations. I don't hope, wish, or pray. I know. This is what alignment looks like. I don't force, I flow. Bars. I don't control, I create. Bars. I don't chase, I choose. Bars. I don't struggle, I float. Woo! I don't hustle, I take aligned action. Major key. Major key. I know some of y'all been hustling your whole life. Let's talk about that one. You ever, I run into this all the time. Especially in the industry that I'm in the hip hop industry. Niggas been hustling their whole life, B. Their whole life. Yeah, you ever meet a rapper? And all his raps, he just talking about hustling. It's like, bruh, you ain't rich yet. Like, what's going on? You been hustling since we was teenagers. At what point do you start taking aligned action? At what point do you start doing things that actually move you forward? Right? You shouldn't have to hustle your whole life. Right? You shouldn't be on the same corner. You know, when I was a teenager and I left to go to college at the age of 16, around 16, 17 years old. You know, came back around my 20s and they were still standing on the corner. Like, what are we doing, family? Like, where are we going with this? You understand? Talking about they hustling. No, you not. You ain't got nothing. You been hustling your whole life. How you ain't got nothing, bro? What are you doing? That's not hustling. You see, because the spiritual alignment is not there. They're doing things that doesn't actually serve them. See? So, moving on. They were still there. They still there right now. They still there right now. Y'all laugh, I'm dead ass serious. They still there. Standing on the same corner. I don't play small. I don't play small and contract. I choose to expand. What that mean?
Think big, bitch.
That's what it mean. It mean think big.
Think big, bitch.
Okay? Y'all got to start thinking big. You're thinking small. Right? Like he said. Got to start thinking big. Why? Because the universe is. Right? The universe. It's infinite. So why would one ever think small? Right? The universe expands. And you know, I'm not exempt from this. Right? Your level of expansion is going to be based on how far you can see yourself. And when I say see yourself, I mean visually see it in your head. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Where do you see yourself in 10 years? Right? What's your plan? Right? Because it's not just about seeing it. Right? What was the one before that? You got to take aligned action. Meaning things that complement your journey, you have to seek them. You may have to invest in certain things that you didn't think you had to invest in. People look at my career, right? When you look at my hip hop career and you see where it has gone, and people think that, you know, it's just about me learning how to rap. It's not just about learning how to rap, right? I had to learn how to record, mix, master, edit, shoot videos, chop them up, make designs, album covers, right? I think people forget when they look at it, all of that was me, family. All that was me.
To this day.
Right?
To this day.
I think they forget that. You have to take aligned actions. You may have to learn some things that you didn't think you had to learn. Right? I had to learn how to utilize green screens and, I had to learn the culture. Right? How to market. Right? How to get in touch with your fans and get them what they want. What does alignment look like for you? What are some of the things that you're missing out of your pocket? The reason why you can't move is because maybe you got to put too much money into actually having somebody help you. You might need to learn something, take a class to learn the skills so you can save the money. Right? I never had to pay for a music video. I taught myself the skill. I put myself in alignment. You understand? In my life, in my whole career, you got to invest in self, right? You might need to go and take that class or get that book or watch that documentary. Learn a little bit more, educate yourself. Go to YouTube. Y'all be surprised how much you can learn on a freaking YouTube. I know you can learn some garbage, but you can learn some good stuff too. I was telling my man, in fact, I've been paid to shoot others' videos, though. Talk about it. My queen on here to verify it. See what I'm saying? And use that bag to fund what else I'm trying to do. Do you understand? Holla at me if you need a music video. Plug. You understand? So, you got to invest in yourself. You got to put money in what it is that you're trying to do. And not just money, but time also, right? Put in your 10,000 hours. Learn your skill. Craft your skill. Get nice. Get nice. Right? So, as we delve into this, as we delve into spiritual alignments, ultimately, you have to have a purpose. You have to have a sense of purpose in what it is you're trying to do. If you don't have a direction of where you're going, right? If you don't have a direction as to where you're going, that's when you're going to be messed up, right? Like I said, you could go right on YouTube and figure this stuff out. You can figure out a lot of different things. I said, listen, man, I don't care what it is. I don't want to hear nobody not knowing how to do something in 2022 and beyond. I don't want to hear it. For everything that you don't know how to do, I promise you, or what you pay money for to learn, it's somebody on YouTube right now that's going to teach you for free. You just got to go and get it. It's somebody on YouTube that'll teach you for free how to do all the stuff. Don't let nobody tell you that YouTube ain't got no information. Even, oh yeah, YouTube scholars, man, you stupid. You stupid. You can tell if it's good info or not. When we were making the Black and Proud video, me and Tazar Path, we was like, yo, visually, we was like, yo, we need to have the noose around the neck, right? The noose around the neck. And we was looking at each other like, but do you know how to make a noose? Like, I don't. I told Tazar Path, I said, I don't know how to make no noose. I said, I could get a rope, but I don't know how to make a noose. Like, that was never a skill that I thought I would ever have to acquire in life. Like, as a black man, like, right? But I said, well, how will we learn? We went to YouTube. We went to YouTube. All praise to the ancestors. We went to YouTube, and there were videos on YouTube on how to create a noose. White boys on YouTube showing you how to create a hangman's noose with 14 million views a piece. I kid you not. I kid you not. Quite concerning. Quite very much concerning. But the fact that it was there, if you can find that, bro, you can literally find anything. I don't want to hear your excuses. Nope. I don't want to hear you don't know how to do nothing. Or you need knowledge. Whatever you need, there's somebody there. Or you could go to udemy.com, and you could take a course on whatever it is that you want to learn. Udemy, you pay a little money, you pay a little bread, you can get a certificate, all that. But on YouTube, it's free, right? So what the computer is doing, what the internet is doing, is taking the information of the Ka that we know, right? Utilizing Merkaba, the action of putting that stuff out there and bouncing it out. And we're storing it. We're literally storing it. That's what the computer is doing. Remember, we created the computer. So the computer is a tool, right? It's a tool. That information ultimately is still coming from us. We have to put the information in it in order to extract it from the computer, right? So what we're trying to teach you how to do is to be able to do this without the computer. And that's the part that we're losing on a day-to-day basis, right? People who aren't conscious can't do this without the computer, right? They have subscribed to the art of spells to where if it doesn't come from a book or a computer, they can't even render it. You could give somebody a valuable piece of information, word for word, right? You could say it right to their face. And you know what they're going to say? What book did you read? What are your sources? What are your sources? As if you could not have created or pulled this information out or extracted this information yourself. It's unfathomable. It's unconceivable, right? That you could actually travel to a whole nother continent and learn something new and give them some information. They just can't render it. They can't comprehend it. It's not valuable if it doesn't come from somebody else, right? So what if I wrote a book, right? Somebody else read my book, said the information, and then I went and regurgitated the information that they just said. What if I did? Would that make it more authentic? Because people write books. Books don't write people. All the information comes from people, right? So if a person says, hey, listen, I went there and I actually got the information. I know it's authentic because I went and saw it for myself, right? What makes the person that was standing next to them more credible if they went and did the same thing, or if they didn't do the same thing? What is the level of credibility that you have to make it a credible situation, considering we're all going to render it how we see it? We're all going to render it how we personally interpret it. You got to research the research and then search again. Research the research, then search again. Because at the end of the day, here's the problem. The problem is you're actually taking somebody's word for it instead of going and taking a look for yourself. Here's the catch. The only thing that matters, the only interpretation that actually matters at the end of the day is yours. Because I can feed you all the love in the world. If you see hate, it don't matter. If you see hate and you render hate, it don't matter. I can give you all the knowledge in the world, but if you see stupidity, you never gonna render it. If you don't like me, you ain't gonna render it. The Akashic Record is a beautiful place, but it's also a dangerous one. It's also a very, very dangerous one, because any and everybody can tap into it. And that consciousness of knowing that it's there and you can tap into it at any given time, everybody can't handle it, right? Everybody just can't handle it. And that's what we have to recognize. A lot of times, most of the time, and most of us in our everyday lives, we've accredited all of the things that are good for us with the things that reciprocate our energy or our love. And it's not necessarily so. A lot of the things that are good for us are there to discipline us, right? The things that may seem harmful sometimes is there to discipline us. And that's a major factor too. Like, you know, in the Akashic Record, there are disciplinary pieces of information, things to keep us in line so that we don't destroy ourselves. I think that's an important factor, right? And some of it doesn't always taste good. The things that we had to learn about ourselves and our ancestors and what they may have done. We don't agree with everything that happens out of ancient Kemet. Know that. We don't agree with everything that happened out of Africa. Some of them are just tools and learning situations, right? Trial and error. I think a lot of times when people look at it, when you're trying to give them knowledge, they look back and they say, and they look at it as if everybody was supposed to be perfect. And this is the thing that we should model our everyday lives at all times. And that's not what we're saying when we say learn from the ancestors, right? If anything, we should learn the system of sifting through information, of how they received information, processing that information, right? And manifesting it, willing it into everyday reality, into our universe, right? That's what we ultimately want you to take from history, right? From accurate history of what the ancestors were doing, of what they were trying to say, the breadcrumbs that they were leaving for you. This is why they gave you mythology, right? Remember, they gave you those religions. They gave you those religions so that no matter which era you was in, you wouldn't get it misconstrued. Do you understand? You wouldn't get it twisted. You would understand that this stands the test of time. You see what I'm saying? You cannot make somebody understand you when they're committed to misunderstanding you. You cannot teach anybody that is committed to misunderstanding you. Some people come here committed to that. It doesn't matter what you say or what you do. They're committed to misunderstanding the message, right? So when you're finding spiritual alignments, before you look for a spiritual alignment, right? First, find your purpose and vision, right? Why are you here, right? Answer your call, right? And your calling is not necessarily something that you create. Your calling is not necessarily something that you want to do, right? The reason why they call you, right? They call you because that calling is something that you're supposed to provide to the universe. When the universe calls you, it does not matter what you had intended to do for yourself and for your life at that point. All that matters is what the universe has in store for you, where you're spiritually aligned with. And that spiritual alignment is going to come from the area of least resistance. I promise you that. That's another thing, major key on how to identify it. Least area of resistance. In most cases, finding your purpose is not something you're going to have to work super hard at. It's something that just really just comes naturally. And ultimately, you're not even going to understand how you're even doing it. That's what's crazy about spiritual alignments. When people become spiritual aligned, this is when they usually start spewing the words, God did this and God did that. Those who don't know what's going on, because they don't actually know what's going on. They don't know how they're doing it. They just know that it's happening, right? Because it's the easiest thing to do. It's the area of least resistance. It's just happening. Do you understand? Like, this is why I can get up in the morning and I can do this for y'all. Like, I can get up every single morning like clockwork and give y'all a lesson, right? It's a spiritual alignment, right? It's something that my spirit can handle. Everybody can't do that. Some people wake up, they're not morning people. They're going to curse your ass out in the morning, first thing in the morning. They just not built for it. Huh? I don't got to work hard for this. You see what I'm saying? I wake up every morning with a message, a download from the ether, verbatim. Now, whether I choose to share it or not, sometimes I don't want to share it. Sometimes I just want to win by myself because people don't get it, right? It's too easy for me. It just flows. It's too easy. Sometimes I don't feel like sharing. And folks will get mad. You know what I'm saying? Well, where's the message? Come on with it. Sometimes I don't feel like it. That's the thing I got to fight. The message is easy. I get the message like it ain't nothing. But sharing it, right? That's not the easiest thing to do. Because sometimes you get that pushback and you just don't feel like dealing with it, right? When you're in your calling, though, it just flows. It just flows, right? None of that stuff bothers you. You're just able to get up and do it, right? And sometimes it's challenging, right? It's my eye. It's always going to be in balance. But ultimately, right, when you find that it's very easy for you to do, ultimately that's probably your calling. And sometimes it's something you don't want to do. I remember when I was in high school, I was a track runner, right? And I was a track and cross country runner, right? Shout out to Coach Joe, rest in peace. And my coach was like, yo, he's so gifted at running. Like, he could run forever, right? I was great on stamina, longevity, right? I could find a pace with something. I'm not the guy that jumps out and boom, hey! I'm like, no, I'm the guy. I got you. Don't worry. Don't you worry your little head. This race is long. That's me. You know what I'm saying? By the time we get towards that finish line, right? Whoever I'm competing is, right? Don't you worry your little head. You know what I'm saying? I've been having my career. I'm 40 years deep. I've been doing this a long time. Still in the land of the living, doing what I've been doing. I know how to pace life, right? Period. These are lessons in life. I pace myself. Don't just jump out the window. But my coach was like, yo, I could get you to this university, boom, boom, boom. He got me accepted to all these different colleges, University of North Carolina, University of Penn, track, track scholarships, right? I was very good at running track, but it wasn't my calling. It wasn't something that I wanted to do. It wasn't something that I found that was easy for me to do. Getting up in the morning at 5 o'clock in the morning and running in practice was not my thing. My coach wanted me to do that, right? He understood that if I go to college, I was gonna have to get up early in the morning. If I go to college on a track scholarship, I got to get up early in the morning, go to practice. I was like, Coach, I'm not doing that. That's not my thing. Like getting up and running, no, that I'm definitely not that, right? Like after school, right? After I done warmed up through the day, my legs is warmed up. I done been through gym class probably, right? I could do that at 4 in the afternoon after school, at 5 in the afternoon. Yeah, we could run. Because I know right after this, I'm going to bed. But you're not going to get me. He's a runner. He's a track star. You're not going to get me waking up 5 o'clock in the morning and doing road work and hitting the streets. It's just not going to happen, right? So that wasn't my calling in life because I couldn't overcome that one hump. It wasn't ever going to happen to me. I did not go to the University of Penn because of that reason. Do you understand? That's the only reason why I was not getting up, right? So now that I'm in my calling though, right? Now that I'm in my calling, waking up, right? 6 o'clock in the morning is nothing, right? Because I was called to be a father. I have to get up and get my kids ready for school. I have to get up and get them ready to go on about their day, right? It was in my calling to be a father. I wake up and I get my kids ready and don't even think twice about it. Do you understand what I'm trying to tell you? Right? My calling at this stage in life, all of a sudden, yeah, I'm not even as young as I used to be, but why can I wake up now more vibrant? I can wake up like it ain't nothing to it. I can wake up with a smile on my face, right? Right? Transfer that same energy to the children, right? I can wake up and do that. Why? Because it was my calling to be a father. Right? So you have to understand that. It's that area of least resistance that you feel in your heart and your soul is ultimately going to be your calling. It's going to be the thing that you're supposed to be doing. See what I'm saying? So spiritual alignments is crucial to your elevation, is crucial to your ascension, your consciousness, right? And it's something that the ancestors knew about. They were very vocal about, and it's something that they documented. So you can learn. There's a lot of different books that you can learn about this type of stuff, right? We talked about the Kabbalah. We talked about spiritual alignments and stuff like that. We talked about Merkaba. And also you can delve into the chakra systems that will teach you spiritual alignments, right? The chakras is all about spiritual alignment. Learning when we talk about planets, we're not talking about actual planets that fly around. We're talking about interplanetary systems in your body, right? They gave you the idea of planets because they wanted you to look outside of yourself for this energy. But ultimately, that energy is on the inside, right? So now when you look at the words like Kabbalah and Merkaba, now when you see these things, you can properly identify them and know where their origins are, right? That's important. That's one aspect of it. Know where the origins are. Because when you learn the origins, then you can study them in their purest form. Does that make sense? Right? If you don't know the origin, you're going to deal with a transliteration 9 times out of 10. Right? So you might lose some of the purity and the authenticity, right? And the things that actually are the key things that make it work, that help you and elevate you, right? So this is why I taught you guys etymology first before we got into the nut and crannies of all of this stuff, because you got to understand the breakdown of the words so that we can tie them right to Kemet, so you can see how they tie into Kemet and what the building blocks were, right? So welcome to the Lighthouse. If you learned something new today, I want you to smash that like and heart button right now. If you learned something new today, it's 10 o'clock. Ran a little bit over, but I was 10 minutes late. So before we end this thing out, I want to invite you guys to how we pay our bills here at the Lifehouse store. Go ahead and screenshot this or write this link down. You can go in there and you can purchase all the things that you see on the show that I utilize, like the Tibet singing bowls, the jewels, all the different things that we sell, the merch. You can get that at the Lighthouse store. That's the link there on the bottom. You can now pre-order the next set of the Lighthouse Tibet singing bowls, just so you know we have those in. The other ones have already shipped. I think I said that in the beginning of the show. But anyway, go on in there and check it out. We've got new products being uploaded today. And make sure that you subscribe. If you haven't subscribed yet, if you're on YouTube, make sure you hit subscribe. If you're on Facebook, make sure you click follow and turn on your notifications so that when we come every morning, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m., you will be notified and you know that we're on so you can participate. So before we get out of here, Sonia Sunshine was the first on today. First to log on. So Sonia Sunshine gets to pick the outro song of the day. So go ahead, Sonia Sunshine. You can put down what we're going to play today. I'm going to give you your choices once again. We got One Blood, which is in here. We got Pakalolo, Black and Proud. We got Talk to Y'all featuring Joey Badass. We got Shaka Zulu. We got, what else we got in here? We got a number of songs in here. We got Gas on Fire, Yamin, Walk Up, and we also have Manifest. What is the song we playing today, Queen? You let us know, and that's what we're going to end out with since you was first. Oh, she said Miss Sealy's note. Do I even have Miss Sealy? All right, hold on. You're going to make me, let me see if I got Miss Sealy's note. It might take a couple minutes to actually load. She wants to go all the way back. I don't even know if I have that in here, but if I do, I'm going to load it up for you. Yeah, I don't even think I got Miss Sealy. Wow. She playing around. Yeah, Miss Sealy's not even on this. Miss Sealy is on my old laptop. I did that when I was living in Connecticut. I'm gonna have to get Miss Sealy's note and create an MP3 for y'all if she wants to hear that, and I'm gonna make sure that she get that because I got some slots. We could add some more. Give me another song, one of the songs that I gave you, because I don't think, did I say Miss Sealy's note? I'm sure I didn't say that on here. Yeah, we don't have Miss Sealy's note on here. What else can we play out of the songs that I just named? I'm gonna make sure that that you get Miss Sealy's note when I upload it on the just so y'all know, the tomorrow the outro gonna be Miss Sealy's note. That's how we doing that. Just letting y'all know. What else can we do? Yeah, she trying to throw it back. She flexing on here. She trying to let y'all know, yo, I'm a real day one. I've been here since the beginning. You talking about some Miss Sealy's note? You talking the first song. The first song. Yo, I appreciate my ride or dies, man. You know what I mean? We got a lot of hits out there. You know what I'm saying? She said, I'm going to do Manifest. All right, so we're going to play some Manifest. I like Manifest, too. It's a good outro song. Shout out to all the day ones, everybody that know what it is. Everybody, manifest your desires today. Lyrically, this is one of my top songs, I have to say. It's hip hop.
May you manifest every heart's desire. Young, hey, you. May you manifest every heart's desire. Judicial systems and politicians, the wicked, prey on the innocent, poverty-like conditions. Popular protocol, populate propositions. Your whole existence is probably out the picture. They out to get you. Foreign DNA in your mixture. Never thought I'd be touring CLA with these lectures. Made the elixir for the people to paint a picture. Clear as day in their brain. We created the scriptures. Genesis, Deuteronomy. Who could rhyme with me on the subject? Keeping their eye on me. Whole society know what's up next. My sobriety flows entirely for the upset. Suppression the truth. Back in the booth. School of coons in the coop. Take them back to the roots. I'm a star like a monologue, not your caboose. Coming hard, you should know the guard high in the youth. trying to chew. Couple countries on the plane, ain't I'm trying to view. I'm divine, you divine, what you trying to do? From my mind to your mind, let's align the crew. Cause every line is a sign, just combine the two. May you manifest every heart's desire. May you manifest every heart's desire. The generation of change, no longer we see meditation is strange. Maybe in different lanes, but the destination the same. Future seeing the wave, you hella late in the game. Gotta deal with the pain, repeating it is insane. Who protecting the culture? Who deflecting the vulture from scooping up all the folks up? Who you respect the most, influenced by and promote? Cause few and few of our role models moving and still a spoke of. For you there's no love. Black civil rights movement got you confused with the rules of the illuminated, like who's related to who. Since the age of 2, made a fool what they say in the school. Don't pertain to you, taint the truth, they playing it cool. Since the age of the news, we've been making the news. Crooked cops running blocks now, spraying your boo. When the semi on the Glock now, aiming at you. When they pops bullets, you not gonna be able to chew. May you manifest every heart's desire.